right, so today I'm going to throw out a few of my predictions for the next 2 weeks. All right, so again, I haven't had any dreams, I haven't had any visions. I'm a person who interprets world events and existing Bible prophecy, and I bring it to you about things that I think might happen or have happened, my analysis. So to begin with, last week, Yahya Sinwar, the head of Hamas, was killed by a random Israeli patrol in Gaza. And an amazing thing happened this weekend. Over 1,500 plus Hamas have surrendered, have come out waving the white flag and surrendered to Israelis. Okay, so since they've lost their leader, they are now surrendering en masse so that they're not hunted down like they've been hunted for the last year. Now their leader's gone, they're not as scared, and they're willing to give up so they can live. So that's a good thing for Israel, bad thing for Iran. Israel's still hitting Hezbollah and pounding them and trying to drive them back the 19 miles past the river between there, where they should already be. And Israel has said that they are going to hit Iran before the November 5th elections. Okay, right now they are a couple days away from ending the Feast of Booths, which is a 7-day-long feast. The 8th day is this Thursday, which puts them right into Friday, and then Saturday is their normal day when they don't work, their Sabbath. So, but after that, Sunday till Christmas, they got a wide open calendar. No religious holidays they have to observe, nothing like that. So I'm thinking next week is when Israel's gonna hit Iran, because they have to do it before the November election. They're waiting till after their holidays are over, but the sooner they hit it after their holidays are over, giving more time before the election, probably the better for their relations with us in the United States. So, and one of the generals said that Iran is going to get hit so hard, they're not even going to know how they got hit or how Israel pulled off the hit. So I'm anticipating that Israel is going to do something on a massive cyber attack scale, and that Israel has used a lot of people in Iran hate the government, okay, because they're Persian and they're not Muslims, but the government's crazy Muslim. And they probably have a ton of spies over there that work for Israel. So they probably have a ton of sabotage set up. Okay, so I'm saying cyber attacks, sabotage, explosives planted, huge types of attacks that are just going to be like, wow, how did they pull that off? Just like the Operation Grim Reaper with Hezbollah. So that's what I'm anticipating. And then I'm anticipating them doing that, and simultaneously, I think they're going to fly their stealth fighters in. They've already planned on how to fuel them and give them extra fuel tanks on their normal planes. They'll refuel the stealth ones to get them there. They're going to most likely hit all the air defenses, basically the air-to-ground missiles, and then they're going to use their other bombers to go in and just decimate the ballistic missile building capabilities. They've said specifically that they do not plan on hitting nuclear facilities or hitting the oil facilities. This is for international pressure, but I have discovered through some research that they probably don't have the capability to hit the nuclear facilities with planes, because they're so far underground where they've taken the nuclear material to try to make nukes. Okay, they're going to have to hit those another way, or have the U.S. hit that, or they're going to have to send in ground. Maybe they've been known to send in ground spy groups, like 50 men into an area in enemy territory before. Who knows what they're going to do? Just strap in. It's probably going to happen next week, is my best guess. And that brings us to the elections in the U.S. on November 5th. So I have a couple different guesses as to what's going to happen. I know that Trump is ahead in the betting odds and barely ahead in the polls. But if he's barely ahead in the polls, that means he's really ahead in the polls. And I've watched some stuff he's done, and he's behaving himself. He's not giving them any ammunition to go after him right now. He's doing a really good job of running. I don't see the people who are in the world that are controlled by the dark princes that work under Satan, if those people in the world, the powers that be that run the show behind the scenes, that pull the strings, I don't see them letting Trump in. So I'm thinking, one, there's going to be a very good assassination attempt. No more of this amateur sniper night. We're going to have probably another assassination attempt, but up close and personal. Kind of like the way they got RFK in the hotel. It's going to be something in an event where somebody who's trusted gets a weapon to the assassin in secret, and then the assassin tries to go up for close and personal. And let's pray that God continues to protect him. Okay, so that's one theory I think may have a high likelihood of happening, is a third assassination attempt. Plus, these weird things seem to happen in threes, always in threes. And there was supposed to be a third one the other day, but it wasn't really one. It was just a guy who had guns in his car in California, who actually was going to an event, who was a supporter. And they're like, oh, we stopped an assassination attempt because this guy had guns in his car. It's like, okay, I got guns in my car. It doesn't mean I'm an assassin. It's crazy. He wasn't supposed to have them in California, but this guy was a little kooky. Anyway, I digress. So I think a third assassination attempt is highly likely. Secondly, there could be something that occurs. Let's say that right that weekend before the election, there are mass violent protests like the BLM riots in all the cities, and they have to go to martial law and shut down the election. That's a possibility in my mind too. Possibility of a wag the dog event where some threat of terrorism comes in on us, where like some of these Al-Qaeda terrorists that are sponsored by Iran, or not Al-Qaeda, but Iranian terrorists here attempt to attack us, suicide bomber, stuff like that. I see that possibly happening right before the election, throwing things out of whack. So something's going to happen. That's my intuition. That's how I think it's going to happen. Now, let's just say nothing happens. And let's say that, hypothetically, Trump's ahead and they don't cheat and he wins the election. Well, in that case, that's going to totally switch my way of thinking. And that's going to put my way of thinking into, okay, Trump is part of the plan. He gets into office. He helps create a peace deal, which is his intent. He said that. I'm going to create a peace deal with Russia and Ukraine, and I'm going to create a peace deal with Iran and Israel. So let's say he creates that peace deal with Iran and Israel, and he gets peace between them and gets them to agree to let the Israelis build the temple on the Temple Mount. That could be the peace deal that builds the temple. That's a possibility. And since he's going to stop the war in Ukraine, that's going to allow Russia to basically prepare the sneak attack in the future event to come in with Iran and Turkey and do the Battle of Gog and Magog. So I don't know what's going to happen. Strap in, pray, and just a suggestion, me to you, go buy a little extra food and have some extra water on hand, enough to get you through a couple, 2 to 3 weeks. I always keep about a month's worth of food in my pantry and my camping food and stuff like that lasts a long time. I always keep that just in case of one-off events, natural disasters, denial of service attacks that cause electrical grid outages, just whatever may come. I just always have enough, because what's the downside? If you have 3 weeks of food in your pantry, your wife complains there's too much food in the pantry, but after everything blows over and you don't use it, you just eat it. I mean, you're not out the money. So again, I would store up a little extra food, a little extra water. You may be very happy that you did. Other than that, may God bless you and keep you. May we all pray for the peace of Jerusalem and pray for the peace of America. And let's just all be in prayer these next 2 weeks. The entire world doesn't go crazy on us, but we won't know till it happens. Thanks and have a good one.